Everyone, it's me, Donna. I'm making another video about the whole recycling idea that I have. I want to elaborate more, and I'm trying to put as much into this as I can, but yet make it straightforward and hopefully go to the people that it needs to go to, and hopefully it will become a reality. Okay. All right. I want to say I'm not talking about the whole recycling system that I have seen in some big cities, and you know that you hear about and whatever, where they make the individual recycle their garbage and all that bunch of mess. No, I'm talking about a system that keeps the regular garbage pickup the way that it is, to where it doesn't interfere with the household, and it doesn't turn people into criminals because they put a piece of paper, a bill or something, in a bag with plastic bottles or something like that, and the trash police come along and say, oh, this is Mr. So and so's bill. Nope. $500 fine. I mean, no, I don't want that. I do not want that for my area. Okay. um why would there be a need for that if this system, number one, makes money off you as a regular garbage customer? Okay, you got your regular fee that you have to pay each month. Okay, plus they can take this garbage, turn it into raw materials, and resell it and make a profit that way as well. So it would be a win-win for them. So there's no need to make criminals out of the regular everyday customer out there. I don't agree with that. Okay. uh, but this system could hire people to, not only, make good pay for for the garbage man that comes along and picks up your garbage, but also they could hire people to sort through all these various materials and uh, turn it into the raw materials that it needs to be in order to be resold. So they could make a good profit and earn a good living and have good benefits and all that. Okay. And there's different ways that this could be funded and created. And I would just like to see it happen in my area, because I have read recent articles, over the last few years, where there's been complaints about, well, we can't, this is becoming a problem for us because we're having to find landfills, new landfills and all this stuff, and we're having, the garbage is costing us too much to deal with, and all this bunch of stuff. And then also, even recently, there was an article about the tire problem. They're wanting to raise the fee, and they're going to raise the fee on people that take their tires to the facilities to be disposed of, because they're saying that, having to find a place to put the tires is becoming a problem, because it's getting filled up. Also, running back and forth over the tires, they tend to come up from the ground, and they're causing problems. uh you know Trying to be flattened out and covered up and all this bunch of stuff. Well, the thing is, if you recycle the tires and shred them up or melt them down and resell them, then they're no longer a problem. Okay. uh that's how I look at it. Okay. But anyway, so this could be funded. This whole recycling system can be either funded on a federal level if we get, officials, uh, senators and House, representatives and all these people in Congress, as well as a good president who truly cares about this country, who truly cares about the, supposed greenhouse effects and all this bunch of stuff and recycling and all that, and who will focus on a bill when they create a bill that is based around recycling and all that. Actually make it only about that. Don't throw in a bunch of, you know stuff that does not belong. Focus in on what needs to be focused in. Okay. So It could be done that way, through grants and stuff like that, or it could be done on a state level where officials get up with the governor, and the governor helps them to get grants and stuff like that to create this system, or it could be done county wise, and either city wise, um, or county wise, like they could work together to create a system and get grants and get investors and stuff like that, to where they can take every imaginable material that you dispose of from your household and turn it into a raw material that can be resold. I'm talking from rubbers to glass to plastic to oh my gosh, you name it, it can be recycled. I mean, everything. Even your sewage can be recycled, and I will get into that in a minute, okay? And another thing, if this were to get going, and I would like to see it get going, especially where I live in Alabama. I live in Franklin County, Alabama. Um, I would love to see this pop up here, okay? Uh, so if you're listening, governor and county officials and state officials or whatever, this is for you. I hope that you will, um, you know, do something to try to get this going. Okay. Um, but for instance, let me start off like talking about tires and stuff like that. Okay, tires can be shredded up and melted down and turned into so many different things. I mean, it's amazing at what they can do with tires and rubber and all that nowadays. Okay, so there you go, and it can even be returned back into tires. I mean, there's just so many things, from tiles to you name it. Okay. So also the glass. Glass can be shredded up and melted down and all that and turned into so many different things. Okay. Um, let's see here. Plastics. you know there's endless things that plastics can be turned into, whether they're shredded up or melted down or whatever. uh they can be, and even plastics can even be turned into fabric fibers. And I'm not just talking about like polyester stuff like that, even though that's one thing, along with all these different other fiber optics, all this stuff, dealing with plastics and glasses and all that bunch of stuff. Uh, it can be turned into that. But also just regular fabrics. T-shirts can be made from plastic fibers, as well as other materials combined in with it. Okay. So, and all kinds of clothing, from those, from the pants to, vinyl pants to, jackets to, you name it. All this stuff can be used with plastic fibers and other materials. And speaking of other materials, such as your clothes, the clothes off your back, um, and fabric, or shall I say, furniture, fabrics, and everything. All that stuff can be sorted out and shredded up and returned back into either cotton or lint and different fiber materials. So I mean, it's amazing what can be done with that nowadays. Okay. Also, um, let's see. See here. Woods, we all know that wood can be kind of broken down a little bit, or it can be broken down a lot and turned into all kinds of things, even shredded up and turned into even turned into pulp, fibers and pulps and papers, and I mean, you name it, furniture. There's so many things that recycled wood can be turned into. Okay. Let me see here. Ash, wood ash, coal ash. All this stuff can be turned into all kinds of things, and it can be resold for not only for companies for industrial use, as well as industrial cleaners like the lye that they get out of the ash can be turned into that. But the ash itself can be used, sold as gardening material, uh, just different, all kinds of things. There's so many uses for it. Uh, a pottery, you name it can be used in so many different things. Um, so that's pretty cool. And even sewage. Yes, I said sewage sludge. Um, that can be turned into gas, as well as your regular garbage, like whatever they deem that is what they don't want to recycle and turn into other things. Maybe it's just too dirty, too cruddy, say certain fabrics or woods or whatever, it's just too nasty. Then they can turn around and grind it up and turn it into a gas, like let it set and ferment, and then they can create a methane gas. Methane gas can be used for all kinds of things, uh, in the industrial world, as well as for homes and all that. So that's pretty awesome. Okay, and getting back to the whole sewer thing, sewer sludge and all that, that can be turned into gas. It can be fermented. The water can be cleaned and pumped back out as clean fresh water, and then the sludge can be either burnt down or just chemically change to turn into other things. Like they can use things out of it, like your calciums, your phosphorus, all the different things that came from all the materials that it used to be when once it was living organic stuff that used those. It can be turned back into those things that come from that. Nitrogen, all that stuff. It can be returned into that stuff, okay? And even turned into ash to be resold, as well as bricks. Like they can take sewage sludge, clean it up, and turn it into bricks to be used in industry. I mean, do you see what I'm saying? There's so many things, and there's probably not as much effort as you would think, because they can use things that naturally clean things, or even fire and different things that can clean it up in its own way and turn it back into whatever raw material that they need. So that is amazing. It just blows my mind just going through here, seeing all that stuff. Like, wow. So if this thing could get jump started and kicked off, it could be a wonderful thing. Um, I would just really like to see it happen. And even not only could, uh, you know, your uh, your regular garbage and all that, but there can be dumpsters set up all throughout a city or a county, to where if you've got, say, like a couch or something that's just too big um, to be thrown in with your regular garbage, instead of dumping it on the side of the road. Because I have read articles recently where they were complaining about people just dumping stuff on the side of the road. They're wanting to fine people for that and all that. Instead, and wanting them, I guess, to haul it off to the actual dump and then pay to have that done away with or whatever. Okay, why not just set up dumpsters, big dumpsters in certain locations within a city or a county, to where people can take those bigger items that they cannot get rid of through the regular garbage, dump it in those dumpsters, and they can come along and pick that up. And then it's more money for them. I mean, yes, I understand there's an overhead cost and there's a cost to pick it up. There's a cost, but the money that they make from all this is going to be well over what the overhead cost is to turn it into that. So it would be well worth what gets put into it, and it will be a big profit. And I would imagine the wonderful things that could come out of this, and the building up of a city or a county or whatever, just from the money coming in from this. Okay, be wonderful. Okay. There was something else I was going to say. Oh yeah, and another thing that would be just so fabulous is if we could bring back our textile industries and other industries that use these raw materials. So not only would I love to see a facility like this within my county or within my city or whatever, I would love to see sewing plants and other companies pop up that use these raw materials, these recycled materials, and turn them back into usable products that are sold on the market. Because we have lost, not only this area, but areas all over the United States have lost their textile industry due to greed and companies going overseas to try to take advantage of poor people in order to get slave labor to make huge profits. But what they're not understanding is by doing this, it's not going to be long term because eventually people will rise up. When people discover their own worth, when they actually, start seeing that they're being taken advantage of, and they get fed up, they're going to start saying, okay, you know what, enough's enough. And then you're going to have to move to another location to take advantage of more underprivileged people in order to turn a profit. That costs money. The move costs money. Finding these people costs money. And eventually you're going to run out of people to take advantage of. I mean, let's be real, okay? So I think that's ridiculous. So my thing is, why not be a fair company that knows how to balance taking care of your employees, giving them a good wage, a good livable wage, and keep them happy, okay, for the most part. I know you can't please everybody, but keep them happy, but yet turn a profit, maybe not a huge profit, but a long term profit that will sustain you and generations to come, okay, by doing this. And you will have a good reputation. You should be able to keep your product in the market, and really build up your name brand and all that stuff. Even if this is like print on demand, and I know that's a big thing right now, the print on demand industry. I would like to see a facility like that come here in this area as well, that uses these recycled materials, these recycled fabrics and fibers, you know, create a shirt factory, or as well as maybe a tapestry, uh, and just different things that need printing. They could do people could do the sewing as well as the printing, the whole print on demand thing here in this area in Russellville, Alabama. I would love to see that happen. I think that would be awesome, and I think it would bring good jobs, or at least I hope that it would bring good paying jobs and build up this area. Okay. As well as other industries, plastic, the plastics industry, and even the tire or rubber industry. I would like to see facilities pop up in this area too. Anything that, knows that we've got these raw materials and they can build a plant, take advantage of that, and buy these raw materials straight from the plant, from the what used to be the dump, is now the whole recycling center. They could do that, and everybody would win. At least that's in my mind. But of course, it takes getting the right people, everybody connecting up. Uh, Without violating any kind of thing as far as, politics getting mixed in with business and all that stuff. If it's done the right way, it can happen legally and it would be a really good thing for an area. I hope I haven't talked too much in this, and I hope I've made my point and got it across. But I just felt like I really needed to, put this out there. I've made other videos before about my whole recycling ideas. And this is not something that I would want to compete with your regular, because, we have a recycling center here where people take their cans, their metals, or whatever. I'm talking about facility that takes your garbage. So, I mean, if it's going to the garbage anyway, it's not going to the regular recycling center, and the regular recycling center cannot recycle everything, or they're not doing it right now. So, you know, we need something that will take care of all aspects of garbage, from the paper to the rubbers to the, all kinds of materials. Uh, so I don't think it would really be a competition between it and your regular recycling center and all that. Okay. But anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. Um, but I hope this was of interest to some people and everything. And I'm going to go ahead and get off here, and I will talk to you guys later. So, bye.